Welcome to FYI. A very good morning to each and every one of you. Welcome to FYI. A very good morning to each and every one of you. Guys, good to see you wherever you all are joining us from. You know, we love it when you guys come by. What are you guys having for breakfast this morning? What's the weather like where you are? Good to have all the usual suspects from all the places that you guys join us from. On a usual basis, good to have you folks with us this morning. Hope you guys have had a good night. The night is far spent, folks, and you all are here. You're out front. Quite a few things to share with you. Lovely, beautiful people. We are ensuring that we are shared to all the true and correct places. We only want valid comments, valid viewers, and credible comments, folks. That's how we want it. You all know how we do it. Valid viewers and credible comments. Good morning, Claire Alexis and Laverne Wade, the mother-in-law. Good morning. Good morning to all the folks. Angel Wade, the sister-in-law. Rhonda Spencer Tom and all the folks throughout the country, at home and abroad. Simone Graves, good morning to each and every one of you guys. We're happy. We're happy that you all are here with us. We are delighted that you all are here. Good folks, Siobhan McDonald, GT Rule Girl. Like everybody, come out for local government now. Some of you have been missing a little while. June Chase, Gloria Fraser, Rhonda Spencer Tom, Loretta Argyle, Shauna Fortune. Like everybody, come out. Some of you have been missing for a little bit, but we know sometimes you don't always comment, but you're in the background looking on. Guys, we are happy that you are here. Quite a protest yesterday in front of the Ghana Elections Commission, and rightly so, you know, with some of what we have been seeing out there. Some of the absolute foolishness, you know, that we have been seeing out there. Quite a protest, you know, lots of forgeries and fraud. You know, let me call it for what it is, fraud. You know, people are seeing that. People are seeing that and they are calling it out. And, you know, we advise you guys, another protest is on. They tell us today, I think 11:30, they're going to be out there making the concerns known, making the case to GECOM, folks, making the case to GECOM. And we encourage all of you. We encourage all of you to have a part in that. You know, don't be afraid. You go there and you make your voices heard. We got to make our voices heard. And I really want to say thanks to all of those persons who went out there yesterday and you had your voices heard. That's part of the democratic process, you know. And, you know, I dare advise you not only during elections time, not only during local government elections, but every day of the year is important. It's important to have your voices heard. Tremendously important to have your voices heard. And, you know, one of those voices that were heard yesterday, you know, one of those voices out there yesterday was the Right Honorable, a member of Parliament, Roysdale Ford. Roysdale Ford. He said some of this going to the court, you know. Some of it going to the court, folks. Good morning, wherever you're joining us from. What are you guys having for breakfast this morning? I got some coffee this end. You know, if I can take it out of a plate, if I can drink this the coffee out of a bowl, I would do that. You know, fire upon cup. But I make sure it wasn't a red cup. Fire upon cup. We having some good coffee, though. Some good coffee. Great to have all you folks with us this morning, Anne and Debbie Collins and all the other folks joining us this morning. Siobhan McDonald, Faye Dover, Sharon Glenn Roberts. Good to see you, Sharon. And Ann Singh is here. Andrew Griffith. You know, Andrew said GECOM seems to be in confusion. Yep. And a lot of those persons who were out there yesterday protesting put the blame directly there at the feet of GECOM. That's what they did. They tell you that Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford was out there yesterday having his voice heard. Here's some of what he said yesterday during that protest exercise in front of GECOM, the Ghana Elections Commission at High Street.
What is actually happening here is another form of the protest. The court proceedings that we have instituted is form of the protest. The court proceedings that we have been filed are premised.
Come on, waiting. Yes.
The court proceedings that we have filed so far, based on the elections petition of the elections of 2020, are largely based on the fraudulent activities of the government and the fraud that has been permitted and encouraged by GECOM. the country has to understand that most and almost every single problem in relation to the elections and any elections in this country stands and falls at the feet of Claudette Singh. The Electoral Commission, as is currently constituted, consists of 7 persons. She votes consistently on every occasion on material matters, always with the PPP. In the context of that commission, any decision basically comes down to the decision of the chairman of Claudette Singh. So when we have the situation of the failure to have a proper recount and then the recount results properly processed, it is Claudette Singh's decision to do so. The failure to have a proper report and any investigation of the March 2020 elections, it was voted down principally by Claudette Singh. The failure to have any proper review and what is likely to happen at this upcoming local government elections is Claudette Singh. The fact that the nominations continue to come in and the fraud continue to be exposed throughout the length and breadth of this country is the failure of Claudette Singh to put in place measures to deal and address these situations. The failure to put in place biometrics as a method of resolving this issue is Claudette Singh. The failure to put in place any other mechanism, including a house-to-house registration process, a verification process of the list, is Claudette Singh. You fail to ensure that the electoral list is in accordance with the law, in which I had to go to court to file legal proceedings to force them to comply the list in accordance with the law, is Claudette Singh. So the future of this country and the failure of democracy is not just the PPP alone. The greatest threat to this country and to the freedoms of this people right now is Claudette Singh. And that is the emphasis that we should be focused on. And it's time that Claudette Singh resign and go home.
But MP,
that was rapid fire, folks. Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford making the arguments, the failures that we are seeing in this electoral process, this nominating process, has to be laid at the feet of Claudette Singh. How many of you believe that? How many of you agree with that? Do let us know. How many of you agree with that? You know, very, very appealing arguments there by the Senior Counsel. Do you agree with that? Chanel Wills and Rena Cummins, folks, they're telling us again, 11:30 today, the protest continues. 11:30 today, the protest continues. So please ensure that you are there. How many of you went down there yesterday, guys? You know, if you were down there, maybe you want to give us a hashtag. You know, if you were down there, give us a hashtag. I was there. If you were down there, maybe you want to give us a hashtag. It's important. It's important that your views are heard. You know, don't let's take anything for granted. It is tremendously, tremendously important that all of your views are heard. Yes, you and Singh and Cheryl Mulrain. Cheryl says she agrees with Roysdale and Rena Cummins. I know Rena had her boots on the ground. Gloria Skinner, Edward Brooms, Tessa Wanderman, and all the other folks, Maud and Kim, all the other folks, they're telling us, Rena says she was there. Yeah, Marina don't miss anything. Folks, make your voices heard, especially now. Especially now. Don't wait till after the election and then you want to point out all that is fraudulent, you know, that transpired, all that is fraudulent, that occurred. Now is the time. Now is the time. And incredibly so, Irfan quiet, Jagjo gone quiet. Well, they got enough to deal with. They got May on their hands. They got May on their hands to deal with, and a number of other things. A number of other things as well that we want to turn our attention to. A number of other things, folks. Got them boys busy. You know, GRA says that its system, you know, it's a little slow. There, is it? What's the name of the system again? Asekuda, the system that the GRA uses to help process information for the public, your licensing and all of those other things, your taxes and all those things. It says running a little slow. So be patient with them. Be patient with them. I don't know if it's a system overload or whatever it is. Gotta be patient with them. You know, let's exercise a little patience when engaging the system. You know, if in another week or so and I see it's still slow, then I might pick up the pace. Or by commentary, Edward, Lyndon Jones, Clifton Smith. If in another week or two, people still complaining, it's the same old story, we may gotta pick up the pace on the commentary. Yep, but they're saying that the system is a little slow. You gotta watch that. We want to watch that. In the National Assembly, we sent to the Special Select Committee that bit of legislation on single windows. Housing wants to institute, the Ministry of Housing and Water wants to institute this single windows process. That helps you, helps the system rather to be more efficient. Right? We got a lot of concerns with it, So like Amanzi was telling us yesterday, we're watching the GRA, we're watching to see how long the system is going to be, lumbering along before we up the ante, before pick up the pace of the commentary. We got to watch them. Amanzi was absolutely right yesterday. You got to watch them because even in that system, that single window system that, we could agree could be lent to efficiency in this process. We line up in this country for too many things and we take it for granted. We line up in this country for too many things, as simple as things. What is the damn use having the passport form online if you can't submit it online and pay $6,000 online and then you receive a date to go back or something like that? I had the task of my life, trying to get a passport for my 2-year-old, trying to get a passport for him. Just to hand in a form and pay $6,000 was half a day. By the time you leave that system, you're so frustrated, you got to take the other half of the day just to recover mentally. And we got to put systems in place. We got to bring ourselves into the 21st century. That should be like that. This is madness. GT&T last CEO, I told him when I was signing up for the MMG service, this thing is too cumbersome, sir. Respectfully, the last CEO of GT&T, this process is too cumbersome. I can sign up for Netflix in a breeze, pay money internationally, and for service right here, I gotta wait 4 or 5 months. Only thing they don't want is a stool sample and blood sample. I can sign up, and lots of you have done that. You can, and you're doing business internationally by virtue of doing that. You can sign up for Netflix, Amazon Prime, Google Plus, buy merchandise online in a breeze like that. Through Amazon, ship to mailbox in the States, pick it up somewhere here. Efficiently. And to get a simple service right here, whole half day you got to stand up, pitch a tent, carry some cook up, little Korean roti, carry some black coffee, and frustrate yourself. So we're all for fixing systems. It's madness. He received my input, as a citizen, and he said, you're making sense. How can I pay for Netflix right here and to sign up for an app right here? Takes such a tedious and long time. So many services internationally you can use like that. And not only that, you can get customer service. You can get customer service via chat, via phone. They troubleshoot whatever problem internationally and put you to one side. Oh, sweet Jesus. The length of time you got to wait here. People bouncing you around to all kind of offices. Please hold. 3 hours you're on the phone and your problem is solved yet. 3 hours you're on the phone, problem solved yet. So we got to fix that. The point I'm making, we're all for systems because systems must enable us to work better. to be more efficient. You know nothing I got a problem with? You know nothing I got a problem with as I have your attention on this GRA data thing? I thought with the advent of computers, we would be using less paper, but like it's more. As a member of the National Assembly, I made a plea. Send me the documents online. You know, they gave us a nice tablet, I think it was. Right? But sometimes I don't know the use for it. The amount of paper we still get. You know, they ask, do you want paper documents? Do you want soft copies? I say I can take the soft copy as against the hard. And still it's a whole lot of paper. You know, let's be for efficiency. You know, let's be for cutting down less trees. And in that single window system that, you know, the government has now sent to a select committee, Amanza did say, you got to watch them. Because in every little way, you know, every little way, you're always trying to, you know, score some point. Every little way. Some point, they're trying to score. In every little way. So here's a man on the floor of the National Assembly making that point on the single window system, the bill that was before the National Assembly. You gotta watch them. So we're watching the folks at GRA this morning.
Having removed the right of Mr. Ramjitan to appeal to a judge in chambers, which was occasioned when they revoked that section 16 of the Tongue and Country Planning Act. So that is what they have done. They have removed the right of a citizen to appeal to a judge. And they're sending it now to cabinet. Right? So we're going to try the devil's case in hell. Again, Mr. Speaker, you see, this is the problem that I have with the PPPC. Every opportunity they have to engage in mischief, they take it. Every opportunity. And so they go there and they say to the people, oh, this is about the ease of doing business and so on and so on. But couched in this same legislation are all of these nefarious provisions. This is why you got to watch them closely. You got to watch them. The other day it was, oh, a red wave. When you do get down to the bottom, dead people sign, people overseas sign. But there's this big red wave. Right now, people are at Belladrum being paid $20,000 to put a name on the nomination form. You gotta watch them. The people at Wakenham were visited by a minister to say, take your name off the list. You gotta watch them. You gotta watch them, the Honorable Indar. You gotta watch them. So they come with all of these nice things. Oh, we want the ease doing business. And we gotta move up on the business index, but couched in it. Couched in it is the wickedness and totalitarianism that we on this side of the house will forever stand against.
Yeah, these are exciting times, folks. Very, very exciting times. And as a man is encouraging us there, Irwin Don, Debbie Collins, Grace Noel, Crystal Simon, you got to watch them. You got to be vigilant, especially in this electoral season. You got to watch them. And watch them very, very carefully. Gail Alicock and all the other guys joining us out there. You know, we see this letter to the editor today. It's one of the headlines that jumped out of us. Poor record keeping at GECOM. You know, somebody wrote to GECOM complaining bitterly about poor record keeping. You know, what are we going to tell y'all? What are we going to tell you? People have a right. People have a right to air their grievances. And some folks want better record keeping. They're against what they call poor record keeping at GECOM. And again, arguing that this is part of the trouble that we have. You know, it's part of the problems that we have at this end. Poor record keeping. We are not going to argue with that. We ain't going to argue with that, good folks. Poor record keeping, it is what it is. And here's part of what this letter writer said. You know, dear GECOM, I'm telling you what the letter writer said. Dear GECOM, trying to get some more visibility here. Yeah, dear GECOM, it is a tragedy. The letter writer says, it is a tragedy that under the current management, it is a national embarrassment. GECOM is a tragedy, and under the current management, it is a national embarrassment in many ways. Folks, we tell you what the people in the letter said. In many ways, national embarrassment. The fraud, as it relates to backers, should not have been accepted in the first place. This is today's newspaper, one A. Singh, writing in Kaichur News. Right? Says the fraud should not have been accepted. Agree, disagree? We tell you what the folks tell us. The fraud should not have been accepted in the first place. Again, GECOM seems clueless. And even today, there is no word from GECOM on the matter. I think that's a point I saw Rena making just now. Rena Cummins from Providence there. Rena Cummins from on the East Bank was making the point just now. GECOM seems clueless. And again, this is one of the reasons why we saw the senior counsel, Royce Ford, making those strong arguments he was making. A. Singh, this letter writer in Kaichur News, says, there was a time in GECOM when someone worked as a party official, they could not work as a GECOM staff. There was a time. If you was a party official, you couldn't work in GECOM as a staff. Right? Why has this been changed? Persons who are highly affiliated with party, you know, such as men on a mission, are now employed to work in this election agency. That is why we got to watch them. And finally, the letter writer says, A. Singh, GECOM needs to do proper record keeping to avoid persons with partisan history to be working as staff for the upcoming local government elections. Person who worked as party agents or canvassed should not be employed for these elections. A. Singh writing in today's Kaichur News, and I'm certain other newspapers as well. That's why, folks, we got to watch them. There's a lot of foolish things happening, you know. A lot of foolishness happening. A. Singh says they should not be employed at GECOM. You got party affiliations. You want Hmong platform. Right? You want to support men on mission and all that. That's your constitutional right. But we want impartial people at GECOM by the same measure. We want some impartial folks there. We got to watch them. I'm remembering a man's refrain. Look what else we're following, guys, in the morning papers today. LBI man wanted for embezzlement. Some people going big. Some people just going big. And this has to do with some fraud that they're telling us that was unearthed at the BPATs. Some fraud that was unearthed at BPAT. Some folks believe in that. Go big or go home. And they're telling us that a wanted bulletin was issued for Kevin Timothy Gildari of Lobon Intentions, LBI, wanted for embezzlement. You know, questions in relations to embezzlement. Allegedly, right, this is on embezzlement on BPAT between February 28th and the 9th of March of this year. And he's asked to make contact with police. Go big or go home. Yeah, people taking that literally. Doing a lot of strange things. And finally, one of the headlines we're looking at, plucking out this morning. This one, folks. International bodies condemn attack on journalists. Yeah, we saw that too. International bodies condemn the attack on journalists. Folks, we got to be respectful to our journalists. You know, mightn't agree with everything, you know, that some of them say, because like the letter writer was making the point, some folks are affiliated, they got affiliations, you know, and it's clear with it. For instance, we saw the Association of Caribbean Media Workers saying that they're very concerned. They are very concerned about the government's attack on journalists. The People's Progressive Party civic-led administration installed the Association of Caribbean Media Workers. They said they're very concerned about that. You all remember when Jagdio referred to the media as Karen Crow? You all old enough? Vultures. Yep. They've always had that history of antagonism towards the media fraternity. Sharon Mercurius, you all remember that? Laverne Joseph. That was like yesterday. You know how they hate the media? It's the going after the truth for them. Right? Is it going after the truth? If you could just take what they say and regurgitate that, you don't do any research, any investigation, and so on, they love you. They love you. You become the head of DPI and so on. Quick. You get big work by them. Right? Big work by them. Them boys like Cordell and them, yeah, big work. Big work. But when you start drilling down, when you start pursuing the truth, wherever it leads, then is when you then get problems. Rudolph Benjamin, you never get big problems, Beatrice. When you start asking questions, like that young, fantastic reporter from Kaito News, I think Miss Baggett, I think it is. You know, when you start doing the work, Aubrey Marsh, of a real journalist, right? It's trouble. It's trouble. But it seems the more tainted you are, everybody's like you. The more compromised you are, you can compromise your journalism, Queen's Love. Agree? You can compromise your professionalism. Rock and come in the PPP. Rock and come in the PPP. You see? They don't mind. If U.S. authorities slam you to a wall, handcuff you, revoke your visa. No. All are welcome. You know? You remember BJ said, no, don't worry, this one little thing here, man. Let her rock and come in. If we worry about the sins of people, we won't get no party membership. That's what he said. And you all were here when he said that. If we worry with those things, we won't get no party membership. You see where the focus there? You see where the focus there? Yep. That's where the focus there. We want to turn attention, folks, to some stuff we are following internationally. If we worry with, you know, people whose past a checkered, shrouded in mystery, murky, and so on, we not get no party membership. So y'all don't just chase green. You know, we still think the party meter bad, but overnight, chase green good. Overnight, y'all get turn good. Y'all get turn good. Just like that. I'm telling you folks what the people said. That's what I'm telling y'all. They moved on the ground. Rock and come in. All you got shady past such and so forth. Right? The shadier you be, the better. The shadier you be, the better, good folks. That's how they like it. The shadier you are. Folks, share the live, smash that emoji button for us. We're ensuring that we are all is set at our end here. Great to have you guys with us, wherever you're joining us from this morning. We are delighted to have you all. Queen's Love says, so true. Happy to have found agreement. We are happy and delighted to have found agreement. These are a couple of things we're following, folks. These are a couple of the things. All right, we're following. Okay, we seem to have lost we said some way. All right, give us a quick sec. We're turning our attention to some stuff we're following internationally. You all see what they're doing with your boy Carlson, Lennon, and some other folks? Oh, it's a tough time out there. It's a tough time out there in the world. Yep. So, folks, we're touching on some of the stuff we saw internationally, some of the stuff we saw in the region, and then we're going to circle back to some of the things we have going on at our end, back in the 592. So that is the trajectory. And give us a quick sec, folks. We just trying to iron out a couple of things. Donna Joseph, good to see you. Fratia and all the other guys joining us. Good to see Sabina Blue and Sharon Mercurius. Lynn Finance. Where's Lena? Henry Rodney, good to see you there. Sabrina Blue. Vishal Churiman, good to see you, Vishal. All right, so we're just making sure we're on the right track before we start having a go at it again. Folks, do us a big favor while we set things up to change the paces. Share the live, smash that emoji button for us, good folks. Do us that big favor. And you know what? As we change paces and we get stuff set at this side, you know who was also on the front line yesterday out of GECOM? Mr. Aubrey Norton himself. Mr. Aubrey Norton himself. And here is some of what he said on the front lines out there yesterday at GECOM.
First of all, I believe the local government elections is in jeopardy. There has been widespread forgery. If the GECOM is to take the required action, first of all, a lot of the candidates to the PPP will have to be nullified because they are supported by forged signatures, and that in itself is a problem, apart from the fact that it's a crime. So I think the local government elections in Japan, I cannot see how GECOM will go ahead with an election in which across the country, the People's Progressive Party has forged the signature. I got information from Linden today that signatures are forged. Pleasance signatures are forged. Region 5, it is widespread.
And then they lose it now as well.
And
Yes.
as we continue, and in addition to that, let me tell you what they're doing in Wakenham, in Rose Hall. They went to people and forcing them to come off the list, supporting the APNU. So clearly, the PPP is establishing themselves as the true leaders of the nation. The PPP clearly does not have the support it claims to have. If it had the support, why then would it be forging signatures? If they had the support, why then would Jagdeo have to apologize for the death signing? Why is it people should have thumbprints signed? It is evident that the PDP is in trouble. Now it is compounded by the fact that the Elections Commission has been compromised. The CEO is not qualified for the job. The deputy is not qualified for the job. What that suggests is that they are putting political people in place to be able to be involved in the normal skullduggery. So I dispatched a letter to the Commissioner of Police this morning saying to him, we need to provide him with the evidence that we have accumulated that people forge signatures. And therefore, we expect the police commissioner to act. But knowing that the police force is politicized, we will have to take other actions because they are not likely to enforce the law. If they were enforcers of the law, that they would have been reported since the allegations of bribery and corruption. So what we have is a circle of illegality. And when you look at some of the people put on the list, many of them have had conflict with the law. Many of them are under the PPP banner for protection. Recently, you saw the situation with the permanent secretary.
Yeah.
Now, if this government was a decent government, they would have issued a proper statement, and I believe the PS should not go back to work unless it is clear to all that she has no clashes with the law. But I saw the Minister of Home Affairs is saying she's going back. Again, it is a manifestation of the fact that the PPP is a corrupt institution. They know nothing about the law. They have no interest in decency. The only interest is domination and control. And what we've seen here is that she has embarrassed them. And when you embarrass Ghana, they must be paying for it. Then I turn to Claudette Singh.
Oh, yes.
Claudette Singh has become a tool of the People's Progressive Party, and she can no longer claim to hold credible elections. If you have before you a number of people who have forged signatures, and up until now, GECOM cannot say, well, these are disqualified, these are disqualified. It means that the entire system is compromised. And so we will have to relook the situation and do everything to ensure that there are no local government elections. Because if we rig it before it starts, imagine what we will do in the process. So I believe that we have a situation which we have to deal with, and we have to take on this.
Thank you, Commander.
When the First Minister is kind of silent with PS situation, do you think there's a cover of something?
Well, there's always the PPP is a criminal command, and criminals protect criminals. I saw in the Linden people who purport to support the PPP, one non-drug reporting, another one who is I wanted to the thing was issued. Then they got one who claims to be a promoter who has historical links to the underworld, and in fact many people in the believe he's responsible for the death of a friend in Holland. So the cabal you were talking about is a cabal that is steeped in illegality, and therefore they have no interest in the rule of law. They have no interest in decency. In fact, if they had, when they came to power in 2020, the CID had been regenerated, reinvigorated. You had people who were solving crimes. They removed all the people that are solving crime and put back the same corrupt people that historically ensured crimes were unsolved. And then you have a police commission that is compromised, that makes no bones about its political affiliation, and therefore there is no scope for the law to take its course. A street like this that has so many cameras, you had an execution in front of the and suddenly the police cameras are working. Obviously, the home of the president camera is working. Evidently, it is covered up by the political institution and the Ghana police force. They have no interest in law and order. In fact, for them to survive and do the things they do, they need lawlessness. And so lawlessness is woven into the fabric of the operation of the people in the Ghana police force.